so I think it's a great start to the year, and we hope to continue doing it.
Well, Tim, I'm sure we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Well done today, and best of luck.
Thanks, John. Cheers.
Well, what can this man do? So Mark Todd for New Zealand, NZB Campino rides this horse for Sir Peter Vela, and Toddy went very, very well to finish on the podium for the first time, finished third at Barbary in leg 3. He's had rotten luck in the Event Rider Masters series so far, and in 4 previous completions before Barbary had never finished with a final score lower than 90. And I mean, that is huge in terms of a man of his experience, but he's broken that duck now, Derm, and he is back for series points here in leg 4.
He's back. We made the point that Oliver Townend's challenge for the 2017 series starts today. Don't forget, it's the best 4 counting scores across the whole series. There's 4 legs to go as of today. So Mark has got a score on the board from that podium finish last time out. This is going to be NZB Campino. So Mark, hugely experienced. Only one rider in the field has more runs at CIC 3-star level. That's the rider before him, Oliver Townend. He's 87 runs at this level. So you're looking at one of the most experienced riders in the world. A double Olympic champion. We've another one of those to come as well, Michael Young. But this man won it with charisma back to back in the late 70s. But today he rides Campino, and this is going to be a challenge to make sure this stays sub 40. We were expecting somewhere around 44. Then we saw +3, +4 unexpected, so it's going to be in around that 39 mark is what we're currently expecting. That's where we're currently trending. Enough of the numbers. I'm handing over to Kiki.
Yes, he has done a very strong start. He, as like Andrew Hoy, is very established in the contact, and the horse seems to be very relaxed. He's performing very well, hasn't done any really misses. We know that he's very perfectionist in his riding, and this horse is also a very good and quite safe dressage horse. And now he's coming up on the 7.5 and the 8s on the half pirouettes, and we don't see the walk so well from here, but I know that this horse can walk, so I'm sure he will now climb him up to the 7.5, 8s here. It looks like he did have a bit of kind of just questioning about the transition, but it was just a very quick moment. So now he's prepared for his second half pass, so he collect up the horse, has a nice medium walk, keep the horse moving forward, and oops, there he might got a bit stuck behind one stride.
For a new viewer, Kiki, just very quickly, where was that mark lost? You were saying he got a little bit stuck. He just hesitated, or?
No, when on the way out of the pirouette, I mean, the horses are supposed to lift the hind legs actively the whole time. Okay. They are not supposed to be, stop by with a hoof in the sand and screw around it. And he did that just for one moment, and I'm sure some judges could see it and some maybe not. And here he gave us a nice canter work and a fabulous, nice flying change from this position.
Just see his score after that error in the walk pirouette, just crept up into the 44 kind of area, but it's slowly creeping back down again now, as close as he can get to 40, even sub 40, the happier he will be, because this horse, a very good jumper, came out on the final day at Badminton this year to jump a clear round, finished in 4th place, and very experienced across the country. Numerous 4-star top 10s under his belt. Was actually Toddy's ride at the London Olympics back in 2012.
Yeah, he has so far, it was a nice canter, also the serpentines. The flying change was maybe not as good as the first one. He's stopped up a bit, but still he will be, has the nose, yeah, he got 8, so that was a good flying change, obvious. And he could have a bit more push here maybe, but I think he will go down on the 30s as well, absolutely.
That score is getting lower and lower. What will his final halt mark be? 40.1 at the moment. I think we'll see him go into the 30s. And yes, he is certainly trending into the 30s. 2/8 for that final halt, drops that penalty score sub 40. Will he be another combination to go into the 30s? We've 5 in there so far. In terms of the series, this could make it 6.
This makes it 6. This is going to match Barbary, which means that the minute we move beyond this, we've got the second best ever field in terms of the scoring, in terms of the dressage scoring. We had 12 first time out in Chatsworth in 2016. That was leg 1, year 1, shall we say, 2016. We haven't seen that dressage match since. I think we're about to see something that comes very close to it today, because Mark Todd and Campino are about to go sub 40. But one thing I would remind you on this pair, hugely strong in the cross-country phase. They're one of the best jumpers in the field. I'd put them up there alongside Sarah Cohn and Treason as jumpers. If this comes up as a jumping competition, these are going to be a pair to watch. They're on the podium last time out. They could well be on the podium again this time.
The Mark Todd and Sir Peter Vela, Sir NZB Campino go 5th, and they actually push Oliver Townend down into 6th. 39.0 for Sir Mark Todd. He's looking for his second podium finish in as many weeks here. But
Thanks indeed, Nicole. I'm with Sir Mark Todd, fresh from a podium at Barbary as well, Toddy. But Campino today, you're within 5 points of our current leader, and that is what we're told by the stats is where you need to be.
Yeah, the class hasn't finished yet, but anyway, no, I was quite pleased with him. As he's getting older, he's getting a bit more cunning in the arena, and he knows that you can't do anything in there, and he sort of takes a few liberties. But you know, he went well enough. We're in touch. I believe the show jumping here could be quite strong, and that may help us. And the course looks like it could cause a few problems, so it's not over yet.
He was your Olympic horse at London 2012, but he's also won in this format. He won the Nations Cup at Houghton, so he's quite versatile.
Yeah, no, and as he's got older, he's got better in the jumping phases. He's a joy to ride, really, on the cross country and in the jumping phases. So, you know, he is pretty versatile. He's very experienced. So, touch wood, we'll be okay.
Well, you've had plenty of luck in the past. We hope you have lots more this weekend, Toddy. See you tomorrow.
Thanks very much.
He was dreading the time this morning as the class started. I was actually made a joke to him, asked him if he had his minute marker, because the time was definitely tight, and he was studying it quite seriously with Toddy. So no, he bagged that.
so, Clubhouse leader Oliver Townend, Cooley Masterclass. What can this man do? We had him in the studio a little bit earlier on. Sir Mark Todd for New Zealand with his London Olympic ride, NZB Campino. 39.0 in 9th after the dressage, cannot afford a pole down to stay ahead of our new clubhouse leader, Oliver Townend, Cooley Masterclass.
We're looking at the 2 most experienced riders in the field, Oliver Townend and Mark Todd. They're way out in front in terms of the amount of international runs they've put in the last 7 years. You're looking at a double Olympic champion. You're looking at someone who regularly, he show jumped in the Olympics. He looks good for time. He studied the lines very carefully when he was here with us in the studio this morning. We have one down. That's going to be costly for Campino.
Well, that will cost him 2 places on the leaderboard. Oliver Townend and Gwendolyn Furr will rise. If he can get home with nothing else to add, it wouldn't be horrendously expensive. The time is looking tight, though. He clears the last, and a time penalty as well, so 5 to add for Sir Mark Todd for New Zealand. NZB Campino rides this horse for Sir Peter Vela, and at 44.0 he will be no worse than 12th going forwards to this afternoon's cross-country phase. But we're seeing plenty of climbers, and Oliver Townend will be watching very closely. 2 poles cover the top 10.
I can't stress enough how big that Cooley Masterclass clear round is going to be.
Well, Sir Mark Todd went on to the Event Rider Masters podium for the first time in his career last weekend with a great 3rd place finish at Barbary with Leonidas. He brings his London Olympic ride NZB Campino here on a score of 44.0.
Yeah, well, Toddy's, you know, this wouldn't be the fastest of Toddy's horses, but it's certainly fast enough to have a go at getting the time here. But he'll have to be on his job right from the word go, I think.
Well, very well spotted, Bill, because I think you're right. I think It's how fast does he need to be. We have the top 5 in terms of the fastest horses, and NZB Campino sits within them. He sits just behind Treason on the speed ratings. Treason and NZB Campino on course at the same time. We'll get a very good idea from Sarah Cuddy-Cohen's score as to what Campino's going to do.
Well, Sir Mark Todd on that score of 44.0. He would certainly have 1 second in hand of Sarah Cohen.
You know, cross-country rounds, most riders have an odd fence or two that don't go to plan, and that's just Cuddy's fence for the course.
At this level, Bill, though, when you do have a fence like that, when you do have to set up that extra pull, they could be the seconds that are so crucial. She doesn't have much room to play with if she wants to move to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, so it'll be tight, but I'd still think she'll do it.
You're still confident she can do it?
She better not let me down, this girl. I tell you, I've backed her all the way.
Pick up jumping penalties, 15 cross-country rounds, 15 completions, no jumping penalties, and 10 inside the time. We'll come back to Denossi and Showley in a moment, but first back to Campino. Mark Todd.
Well, he's up on the clock. He was 11 seconds.
Time is not so easy, yeah, you know, and other things were fine with him, yeah.
Well, congratulations. It's going to be short-lived because Sarah will be up here in a moment, but enjoy it while it lasts. Well done, Mathieu.
Clear round in the show jumping was so valuable for him. Well, Sir Mark Todd well up on the clock, coming through the SAP Ditch and Palisade with NZB Campino. He's coming to this final question, and Bill, a man of Sir Mark's experience, and he's certainly showing it all out there.
That has a great eye. You know, he just can see distance from a long way back, and he's doing it here. You can see there he's right up to that in 3.
He is miles up on his clock. He is going to be, I would say, 5 seconds inside the time. He just needs to make sure he gets home right. Event Rider Masters 2017 at Barbary, he was on the podium. He was ready for this series. Now is the time for him to deliver. I think he knows this is the year.
And again, it is all down to the series points. But Sir Mark Todd, NZB Campino, they're comfortably inside the time. They had a second in hand over Sarah Cohen.